I think, Miss Garima, there was some audio problem. I'm going to
Okay,
repeat myself.
fine. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sorry. A great thinker was asked, "What is the meaning of life?" He replied, "Life isn't life itself has no meaning, while it's an opportunity to create a meaning." एक छोटा सा बिंदु एक बड़े वाक्य पर विराम लगा देता है, किंतु कुछ और बिंदु मिल जाएं तो वे आपस में मिलकर एक वाक्य को निरंतरता दे देते हैं। आश्चर्यजनक किंतु सत्य है। हर अंत एक शुरुआत होती है। इस सकारात्मक भाव के साथ 2023 का हृदय से स्वागत करते हैं। Surely consistency is the key. If you're wondering why I chose to change my language of communication, so the reason is not one but two. Today is a special day for us at Teachers International Community, as we have reached 1,000 subscribers today. Thank you for placing your trust in us. And the second reason is our presenter. We have a veteran in Hindi today. Please welcome Ms. Garima Sharif, aka Ms. Garima Chaturvedi. Ms. Garima has many years of academic experience. However, what is unique here is that she is not very old in IB, yet she is catching the eye of educators around the world due to her out of the box teaching strategies. She's a program lead come Hindi faculty in an IB school. This evening, she will take us through different strategies that she applies in her classroom. Welcome, Ms. Garima. You are on board now.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ms. Anila. And that was a nice welcome. Thanks a lot. Wish you all a very happy new year. And thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity to present and share my practices, which I do at my school here in Chennai, Akshar Herbal International School. I'll be, Ms. Anila, you'll be able to. So here I am. I am Garima, and I teach at Hindi at Akshar Herbal International School. It's an IB school at Chennai, and I'm a PYP educator. Today I'm going to talk and share some of the strategies that we use in our school across Tamil, Spanish, and Hindi. As you know, in the PYP, the focus on language learning is in the areas of listening, speaking, and reading. Yeah. So, as you know, it will be on the basis of reading, writing, listening. Students listen to various stories and poems, and this is a wonderful way to develop their language skills. At our school, we give a lot of emphasis on various teaching methodologies. We use a lot of instructional strategies for language learning across grades. For instance, we use reading strategies, circle time, visible thinking, routines, and much more. So, before I begin my presentation, I would definitely like to acknowledge and also thank my colleagues who teach Hindi, who teach Tamil and Spanish at our school for sharing some examples of from their classroom that I'll be showcasing you today. So there are the certain, I'll be sharing it, some visible thinking routines that we use it in our classroom and the teaching practices that we use. The first to start is these strategies are put into practice. Students have an opportunity to experience different ways of learning and expressing their understanding. So I'm going to share the first strategy that I'm going to share is an example of visible thinking routine, which is see, think, wonder. I know most of you will be doing that strategy, but I did that strategy for a grade 2 students. Students were learning about sound symbol relationships as they were new to Hindi language learning. They saw images of different objects. They had to write what they see, what makes them think, what it is, and what they wonder about. For expressing their wonderings, they needed to use what if. I slightly changed it. The question I put it across to emphasize on their thinking skills. I made it as what if happens if you're going to do this to express their wonderings. This further challenged their capacity for some thought of wonderful answers came back. If I learn vowels, I'll be able to learn Hindi very well. And that will help me to travel to North. So, because we stay in Chennai, and for Hindi is not a very common language spoken. So, they wish to go to North and learn that language. They'll be able to communicate with many people. So, you can see these are the images of my kids and some of the work which they have showcased on See, Think, Wonder. And then there's another example which we do. A lot of infographics is used while teaching additional language in our school. This is a very nice way to represent information as a diagram using pictures, graphs, symbols, or images. An infographic, it also needs, at times, it can be a text, a small text, but it should be so brief and to the point. So, this method of information presentation is intended to be more memorable, and people and students can visualize and learn it very fast. So here you can see in for a Hindi, I have done it as a vowel. Inside, it was open to them whichever way they wanted to be creative enough. So they made cups out of it. Inside that, they wrote all the vowels and the consonants. Related to each vowel and consonant, they drew the image. And the same goes in Spanish. They did a family tree. In Spanish and Tamil, they had done a Spanish tree. A family tree to showcase their learning, what all they are doing it. So in this way, the kids were very happy doing it, and they showcase their learning very well. A very common strategy that we most of the time we use are the mind maps. I'm sure they are the best ways to understand the basics of learning a language. It's a tool to visualize and organize information. We teach a single concept very nicely, a word or a phrase to them. In the center, we put a blank and we write whichever word or a phrase we would like to do. Here are the examples you can see in Tamil class. They have done they have done on Pongal. Tamil and Hindi kids, because it was January and Pongal is a very famous festival we celebrate in Chennai in South India. So we wanted them to understand the importance of Pongal festival. So we had made them write Pongal and what all words come to their mind related to Pongal. Same way in Spanish, they did a physical description of their family members. So that while doing mind map, they're able to frame simple sentences that comes to the next level, and it's a very good strategy for them to understand and do it. Moving on, we did a lot of this. A new strategy that I introduced this year was sketchnoting. I'm sure most of you will be doing it in your schools, but this is one of the strategies which is very, very, it was a huge hit among all three languages, Tamil, Hindi, and Spanish in our school. And it was the best part, it was not restricted only to our three languages. Our homeroom teachers, English teachers, maths teachers also did a lot of sketchnoting in their class. So it's a very nice way of representing your ideas to develop your creativity. So you learn creative skills also, and you do a thinking skills also. it it gives a complex idea when it's introduced. When you do it on board directly, it becomes a little bit difficult for them to understand. Rather than when you break up into form of pictures, it becomes very easy for a student to understand. So here you can see a very nicely sketchnoting was done on all three languages. In Hindi, we were reading a chapter on pollution basically for a grade 4 students. So I wanted to know, make them understand what are the ways of different pollutions are there, sound, noise pollution, land, and everything. So I had given them a free idea that you do whatever comes to your mind and join the dots. So once they wrote pollution between, they were able to connect the dots, that how all things are connected with each other. Same way in Tamil, they did they did the sketchnoting after reading a story. So this is a very nice way to understand how learning happens in our classes. The next one was a new strategy that was introduced was plus, minus, and interesting. So in this strategy, plus minus interesting chart, or we call a PMI chart, is used to record all the positive, the negative, and the interesting of any topic or a concept. Basically, students get an opportunity to look at a concept or an idea from different angles. This can help them weigh the pros and cons, which in turn develops students' critical thinking and decision making skills. In the first engagement, it was a grade 2 thing, and we had placed them, given them two objects were shown to them. It was a lemon I had showed them and a water bottle. It was placed on a table in the classroom, and they had to share their points. What is a minus point you see with the lemon and a water bottle, the plus point and an interesting point. So, and it was so nice to see their what out of the box thinking. Like one of them wrote for the bottle. The interesting is it comes in different shapes and sizes. You get panda bottle also, which I was stunned to see a grade 2 child writing such nice thoughts on paper, and how do they do it. So, and we heard, and then after once everyone is done, all students, they shared their students perspective with each other. Questions were posed to them about the object they learned, to respond questions in Hindi. So why did they think, why did, so they started communicating in Hindi on their basis small sentence they were making. It was a very wonderful way to develop their vocabulary. And in the second engagement, you can see students wrote the plus minus about seasons. And you can see how they had guessed where the Halloween and ice cream on the, and the, when while they were doing the activity, they did a small description of Halloween images and the ice creams. So it was understood that which season it is. So it was a Spanish class which they had done it. So I hope, and these are the some of the strategies that we keep doing it in our school as an IB school, the first IB school in Chennai. We emphasize a lot on practicing promoting agency. So we promote agency in our learners is a very important part as we do as educators. In our school, students are given a voice, choice, and ownership of their learning. So, agency in each and every class, not restricted to only additional language, but other subjects. We all teachers make sure that we promote agency in a big way in our school. In this thing, you can in this slide you can see it was basically learning happens a student led. It's not only teachers led every time. We give opportunities to students to showcase their learning, the voice, choice, and ownership of their learning. In this, it was one of the things I did it in the Hindi class. Was it was a student led class totally. I was a spectator in the class. They said, "Ma'am, we are going to do our learning ourselves." So I said, "Go ahead." It was an independent learners. Sessions are not always teacher led. Once the introduction is done by the teacher, the students are given a lot of resources to choose from which resource they want the learning to happen. And they further, in the first picture you can see students of grade 5 after learning about the garbage, waste, and their types. This was done in a Tamil class. The learners were being engaged in reusing the waste for a creative purpose. This activity of best out of waste have made them to be a risk taker and trying new things, and to be more responsible towards the environment that they live. In the second picture, you can see the students of grade 4 and 5. They took in Hindi class, they took the ownership. They read a story. They were divided, they themselves divided themselves in two groups. They read a story all by themselves, and they started taking turns and writing on the board. As you can see, they were writing the meanings, the synonyms, the opposites, and the other team was copying it down. And after reading the story and explained each other, and they took the class forward. And once their class was over, they made a beautiful chart presentation, and it was showcased in the whole school. This is the way our learning takes place. And now a lot of emphasis is through active engagement and also takes place in our school. We have a lot of cut and paste activities, fun activities basically, which is a very nice way of learning. Cut and paste activities, they help child to explore their creative side and express themselves artistically. It makes their learning enjoyable. So here you can see there are some examples from grade 2. In the first picture, I am sure you'll be able to guess. It is they have done is in the first picture, the you can see they've cut the vowels images. Say anar, arm, eek. So I had given them in the word pictures, and they had to cut it and paste it according to the sequence. And grade 2 kids really enjoyed, because for them to put a proper sequence of a vowel, it was very nice. The second activity was done in Spanish class, in which parts of the body were done in grade 2. So the teacher made, it was up to them, which it was just thrown to them that they had to cut the parts of the body and paste it according to a human girl image or a boy image. The same way was done with the food habits. They had to cut the images of food and place them which food they like, which they don't like. So, and the kids really enjoy doing these type of activities. Again, in our school, we take a lot of pride in developing relationships. That is the key of one of our main principles in Akshar Ball is we give a lot of emphasis in developing relationships. Our students are, it's not only with students and teachers, along with the parents also, the custodial staff, all are given a lot of importance in developing relationship. What a better way than approaches to learning? Those we call as ATLs in Ivy language. So here we nurture our relationships. We nurture them in a very nice and a very casual. It's done as a part of our culture in our school. So they are the skills. They are designed to enable students, IB learners, to learn how to learn. Basically, approaches to learning. This is an important part of PYP process, as learning how to learn with enthusiasm and curiosity while engaging in the transdisciplinary of the program. The students integrate the unit of inquiry approaches to learning through approaches to learning. All five skills: thinking skills, social skills, self management skills, research skills, and communication skills are developed in students. During the learning of the concept, these skills are applied to make learning more meaningful. Here they exhibited self-management skills by designing their schedule for the academic year. This is one of the very important strategy that I do every year. In every term, basically, I make it sure that they set their goals. They were Goal setting is very important for any teacher, I believe, because it is a reflection for her teaching also, as well as for the kids also, students also. So by setting goals, they write how and what they want to achieve. And goals, as you all know, we always write a smart goal, specific goal. So every term they write it, and they reflect on those goals. Once the term is over, how much they have achieved and how much they want to achieve. So that's become a normal integral part of our teaching at AIS, which is Akshar Arwal. It's a short form of Akshar Arwal International School. And now in the second picture, you can see they exhibit research skills, and by any topic that was taught, students are using dictionary to find meaning of the word. So it is again a student led. We provide them the dictionaries, and we give them, if it's a word, tough word which they want, we give them a choice to research themselves. Any help is needed, definitely we facilitators are always there with them. So we help them in researching the word. And the other, you have computer wise they research, they do research skills. Now the ones that we focus again is the social skills. Students, they start using, through social skills they develop the collaboration, team spirit, cooperation, empathy, open mindedness, patience, and many more. I'm sure all of you will be in your each and every school, and even our everyday life, we use a lot of social skills, which is very important in today's world. These skills help to become a responsible citizen in future. Students work in group to develop their social skills. It's not only one child one work. We always emphasize them working in social groups, so that they learn the importance of collaboration. They learn how to collaborate each other, and to do a collaboration with an open mind. Students are taken, and now one more thing that we do a lot is the thinking skills we develop is they were taken to the open area. This was a new thing that I started this year. Was I had taken them to the open area after doing in for a grade 2 students, after teaching them the basics of vowels, consonant, the words. I took them to the open area in our school area, and I asked them to see the images which are around them. Once they all saw the images, I said, okay, now see which all images you have learned in your classes, just write them. Either you write in English or in Hindi. So once they wrote, they started communicating. The best part was one student knew it, so he or she spoke to the others. Oh, come on, this is sun. Okay, okay, what is this? It becomes a very interactive. It was so nice to see thinking skills, as long as with it social skills and collaboration, everything happening together. And this all they were doing it with the, once they have done it, they do it with the chart work they presented. And the communication skills, what all learnings they have done, they showcase their communication skills through a form of chart work. In this picture, you can see we had done an inquiry cycle in Hindi. A proper inquiry cycle was done in all three languages. It started with prior knowledge, finding out, sorting out, and that was totally new to us because it was a challenge to do it in additional language. But we all tried our level best, and though it was in a simple way, we did it, but it was a proud movement, and they were very happy doing it in additional language. So these are the ways we promote relationships in our school. Then it's a very nice thing that we do, connecting back to the agency. A choice is provided to the students. They feel very responsible of their own learning when a choice center is given. Choice center is an integral part of our teaching at AIS. Because that teaches them independent work, and they become they are more they take ownership of their learning. Basically, we place different centers and workstations of learning. Different centers are placed, and the students go from one center to the other and complete their work. So basically, they are just quite, you only the instructions are given to them. You can see in these images different centers. For the first image, they were given books to read, flashcards to play. So once they were given the book, they go to the next center, read the book or story book, go to the flash center. Same way, they in the down picture you can see four small tables are located. Any type of a choice center can be done. The teacher is a spectator there, whereas the learning is taken forward by the students themselves. Moving on, I have, it's not always teaching is verbal, it can be non-verbal also. And I'm so proud to start a mind activity learning which I did this year in my school. Was because every time we say okay teaching we have to take a board or some choice center, I thought why not do something different. With my friends we decided okay let's see what can we do. So mind activity was the one which I started with grade 2, and believe me it's a very nice strategy and kids love doing it. Students enjoy depicting a vocabulary through actions basically. I spoke the words like fish, lotus. Hindi mein I spoke like machli, kamal, aloo, ghar. And it was so fun to see them creating those images with their hands. So I am sure you will be able to understand if you all can type it. Or the first, it is they have made fish out of their hands. The second is a lotus that's coming out. The third is a potato according to them. They all were sitting and it was a potato. But one student said, ma'am, it can be a ginger also. I said, definitely it can be a ginger also. The next one is a house that they have made. Because when I said ghar, so they made a house out of it. The last one was the best one. I said a pigeon, pakshi or a pigeon. And then they said, ma'am, ये pigeon भी है, तोता भी है, चिड़िया भी है. I said, हाँ, सभी है, anything it is. So it developed their listening skills, and they started working collaboratively. So this is, I'm sure if all of you can just try once or twice in your classes, your students are really going to love this, because it makes them, it's so comfortable seeing them and coming out. You will not realize also which part of a flower something they depict, which is out of the world, out of the box thinking that they do. So now, again, that learning through fun was, which I had spoken earlier about the skills basically. So children go out, they explore real life connections they make with their learning. The same what they had done it developing. You can see they go to the open area and write the words. And then in this one of the in the second image, the best part was they listened to a story which was played outside. A poem was played in Tamil class, and they did picture illustration. A small grade 2 students, they did picture illustration of the poem. And grade 3, in the image 3, the best part was we played a bingo game. Usually we play bingo games when you go outside in your parties and all, you play bingo game. Why not to play in an additional language class? So what happened? I had given them words of ka, kha, ga in between words, and I pronounced the words like ka, kabutar. I didn't say ka, I just said kabutar. I told them, okay, circle the word. You hear the sound and circle it. And whoever finishes first, you get golden star, red star. Criterias are given to them, and it was a new thing, and because it was, I was promoting the listening activity also through them, so they enjoyed playing the game. My listening activity was done, a listening skills I had to check. So all combined together was a small assessment basically I did it. And the best part was we all emphasize a lot of on reflection. We always make it a point that after every class, either a oral reflection or a verbal or written reflection, we always do it. So here they wrote, ma'am, really we enjoyed. Why not to do it more often? So it was a very nice activity. Bingo game was a very nice activity for them to learn. It was the game that we played. It was for the schools that we played. So now all these strategies that I have been speaking of, the some of the strategies that we do, there are many more we do it, KWL charts, uh, circle of viewpoints, many other strategies also we do it, and I'll be happy to share with all of you. And after all these strategies, the final product comes in the form of writing. And we all are so proud to showcase our students learning, whether either it is a Spanish class or a Tamil class or a Hindi class. All these strategies, the instruction strategies, visible thinking routines, they help us. Ultimately, our end goal is the way they write. And these, they do the descriptive writings, they write it in the form of, they do a paragraph writing, they frame sentences. So all this is done, they do a picture illustration. So this is the end result. When we end of the year, we want them to write. So these strategies help all our teachers in making our kids develop. The last end goal is for them to write and go to the next level of this. So I'm saying I'm 100. I feel, I think these methodologies that I've shared will help any teacher, rather than let not be only an additional language, a maths, English, or a homeroom teacher, in developing important learning skills, while helping to develop a deeper understanding of the language. Because it's not only restricted to a Hindi, because till now, basically, my example is, I was thinking inquiry is only based only to the homeroom teacher, only the UI, those who teach UI unit of inquiry, only they can do the inquiry cycle. But no, if you take it a challenge, definitely it's possible in English, because in my school, maths, English, and all of us, we do a lot of inquiry. Our teaching is based on inquiry. Before I end my session, I would definitely like to thank you all for taking out time on New Year for attending my session. And I'm very, very grateful and thankful to my school, Akshar Ball International School, the head of the school, Miss Priya Dikshit, and my principal, Miss Prabha Dikshit, for giving me this opportunity to conduct a session today and to showcase the skills that I have learned from my esteemed school. And thanks a lot. It was such a nice, it was a learning for me also. So thanks a lot. Thank you, Anila. If anyone has any questions, then I'll be more than happy to answer them.
It was awesome, Miss Garima. What a great start to 2023.
Definitely. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. And before you go away, we would like to share something here.
Oh,
Thank you for imparting so many strategies. Thank you for showing the pictures, because actually, when we look at the picture, we are able to understand better. And I definitely going to take away the bingo strategy.
yeah, that's a very
Yes.
nice. It's the kids really love it. It's not restricted only to adults, but when we also play, the bingo is really, you can do it with the small kits of papers, and always keep it as a resource available for you. The mime and the bingos are a very nice strategies for learning a language, to develop your listening
Also,
skills with them.
yes. Also, I would like to thank educators Shri Lakshmi, Yashmin Khan, Priya Dikshit, Jyoti Andrew, Divya, and I could see Keba. Thank you so much. You've been so active, and this has really helped us, because I think the questions that you asked, that was related to what Miss Garima was talking about. And here are few more questions that comments that we have here, and some more for you. Definitely, educators are going back with a lot of strategy in their hand, and I'm sure they'll use it. And please do share your feedback on it and how it went in your classroom. That is going to help us. All right, then we're going to end here.
Okay, thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, Ms. Anila, for such a lovely help that you provided me throughout this session. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everyone. A fantastic new year for all of you again, once again. Thank you.